topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the host and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Welcome to Triversity Talk. I'm Wendy Stewart. It's Wednesday. I always start with the same announcement, don't I? But it's true. It's Wendy on Wednesday, and so happy to have you here with me tonight. Very somber evening. Tonight is Transgender Day of Remembrance, and there are vigils going on everywhere. And for those of you that follow Triversity or LGBTQ, located in Milford, Pennsylvania, servicing the rural areas of the tri-state area, we of course had our vigil that we do every year at the Methodist Church with the reading of the names. Unfortunately, I couldn't be there because I broadcast out of New York during the week, but for those of you who attended the vigils, thank you. For those of you who are listening all over the country that don't know what Transgender Day of Remembrance is, there is a memorial that includes a reading of all the names. Sometimes it's a past year, more often than not. This was started 25 years ago. A lot of the names on that list are read. And there are candlelight vigils, there can be a service, but it is to remember all of those transgender people that died by violence, which is something that's very common and something that we all need to be very, very much aware of. So for those of you observing, thank you so much. So speaking of Milford, Pennsylvania, we had an amazing film festival called the Black Bear Film Festival. And the opening night party, I had a fabulous dress. And the most gorgeous man came over to me and like a sequined, like head to toe ensemble and said, you know, I have a dress similar to that. And I took one look at him and I said, I bet you do. And I found out that this person was a filmmaker and actually had not one, but two films in the Black Bear Film Festival. I want to tell you a little bit about our guest tonight. I call this segment Out and Proud, Acting and Filmmaking with Nicholas James Reilly. Please welcome him.
Hello, Wendy. It's quite an introduction.
Oh, great to have you here. And I got to interview you like twice during the Black Bear Film Festival.
Yes, it was my pleasure. But we got to hang out on the stoop. Yep.
We're hanging out on the stoop. I like that. I like that idea to do a show hanging out on the stoop.
I do it.
There's something about being on a stoop, right? Like, you know, this as an actor and a filmmaker, yes. There's an energy you get from hanging out on the stoop.
There's something childlike to it, something freeing, like hanging out with your, you know, taking it back. Cool.
It takes you back to your childhood, right? Were you a hanger when you were a kid? No,
I was in the woods. I was in the woods recreating Halloween movies with friends.
As a kid, you did that. And tell Nicholas, what woods were you in?
Oh, the Staten Island woods off of Huguenot Avenue, where I'm from originally. Yeah.
So, I did want to mention, you know, I'm from a borough and Nicholas is from a borough, which is why
this is true.
Staten Island's in the house tonight, and so is the Bronx. I have to have glasses on it at night now because I do a show in the afternoon. My eyes are fine, but by the time 7 o'clock rolls around, I know I can't see anymore.
They look fabulous, though. There
used to be a talk show hostess named Sally Jesse Raphael, who was way before your time, but you should Google her because she was a character like Ernestine, like Lily Tomlin's Ernestine. She always had these big glasses. So that's what I aspire to. When did you realize that you wanted to be a performer and a filmmaker?
Okay, two different stories there.
And we're going to break it up.
Performer.
And we're on the good ship Lollipop, honey. And you're
All right. Buckle up. So performer I was 16 and it was junior year of high school and I was humming a song. Now this is a song I had heard years ago as a kid, didn't know what it was. And this girl next to me goes, "Are you singing Light My Candle?" And I'm like, I don't know what Light My Candle is. And she's like, "Have you seen Rent?" And I'm like, I don't know what Rent is. So she dragged me by my collar, took me to the city, and I saw Rent on Broadway for the first time. And I sat up we played the lottery. We didn't win that time, but we sat up in the nosebleeds. And I remember during Colin's "I'll Cover You" reprise, I had never seen gay people. I had never seen gay love. I had never seen theater.
You were 16 and living on, wow. Huh?
Yeah.
That's like.
This was my first like liberal experience. My first, like I said, gay love, art, all of it at once. And during "I'll Cover You" reprise, which if you're familiar with Rent is the most powerful number in the show, in my opinion.
It really is.
My vision went tunnel. And I lost all of my peripheral sight for the next hour. And eventually that went away. Now, what's funny, I'm going to cut ahead 20 years now, just to about a year ago, I got an eye exam. And she was asking me if anything weird ever happened with my vision. And I told her that story. And she said, that is a common occurrence when someone goes through something traumatic, often like children seeing their parents getting murdered. Like it's that level of intense where your eyes will shut down. And she said that theater experience probably because, your homosexuality, having that reflected at you, and then theater, that moment changed my life. And I said, I want to be up there.
Right. Because, I mean, you're living on Staten Island, right? And I mean, it could be the Bronx or Staten Island. You're also of Puerto Rican and Irish descent.
Correct.
There were no like gay relatives or anything. Well, there probably were, but they weren't like talking about it.
So I came out before my uncle.
I
got stories all day.
Dadar.
Yeah, my uncle. I went to visit. He had a house in Palm Springs. Listen, everybody knew.
Okay,
that wasn't.
You know that, right?
It wasn't said though.
Right.
And I went to visit him, and I walk in, and there's a strange man in his living room, and he's like, "Oh, Nick, this is Mark, my partner of the last 30 years. And no one in the family knew about this."
Wow.
Isn't that insane? Isn't that crazy? So
you are like kindred, but no, this is the beauty of what you're saying, like kindred spirits, because you're in the same family and now this truth is being shared.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Amazing.
Yep.
So
that was, go ahead.
Yeah. So you were growing up, you had this epiphany at 16 and nobody could stop you after that.
Well, it didn't quite unlock yet. That's when I started getting exposed to theater and I started seeing a lot more shows. And then I went to this guy that I was dating, brought me to his family's Pennsylvania house. Now we're like 17 and we're singing Wicked and we're all drinking little shooters of, oh God, what was that? 99 Bananas. You ever heard of that?
Oh, yeah. And there you are in Pennsylvania.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. 99 Bananas, singing The Wizard and I. And this girl, who is now my best friend of the last 16 years, Nicole, was like, they were at an all-girls high school, so they needed boys to come do the shows. And she was like, you have to come, you have to come, you have to come. And I was like, sure, whatever. We didn't talk all summer. And then cut to September, I'm on AIM, rest in peace, AIM, at AOL Instant Messenger. And I was like, hey, what's up? She goes, auditions are tomorrow. You're coming. And I was like, these women in my life who just are telling me to come do things. And
it's fabulous.
It's amazing. So I went and I got the Fagin and Oliver. And that was that was it. That was when the drug hit the veins. And that was it.
That's it. And you'd never had any acting training at that point.
No.
You just knew, that was it for you.
I kind of, when I think back to that, it was like panic. I just relied on go for it. And I guess that's what you call instincts. And the director was wonderful and coached me and taught me a lot of the initial stuff that that I learned. So yeah.
Well, you have that whole the go for it thing. You have that in your essence of who you are. It's a bright light. So
thanks.
people that are like that, they will just someone tells them to do something and that's good, and they will do it. They know deep in their heart of hearts that it's right for them. I love it. So your first shot out of the bag was Fagin.
Yeah. A 60-something Jewish man, and the director was a 60-something Jewish man. So it was nice to learn from him too. It was basically him living through me to play this role.
I got it. So you were in high school at that point, right?
Yes.
Were you in Catholic school?
Correct.
Yeah, I got the whole 9 yards. You know, it's funny. We have a lot of people on this show that went to Catholic school.
Oh, we could talk. I'm sure we could talk.
Really quite funny. We have a lot of, especially a lot of people that are Italian and gay and went to Catholic school. It seems to have done more damage than if they're of other ethnic backgrounds. I don't know why. Italian and Catholic school, I think they're really able to, like, you know, get the guilt really ground in there.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah. Yeah.
But okay, so then did you apply to Circle in the Square? How did this all happen for you?
So then from there, we did a couple shows with them, and then I didn't think of it really as a career. It was just high school. This was fun, you know. And then I went to college. I was pre-med chemistry major. I wanted to be a vet. Funny enough, we were just talking about vets.
Funny, me too. That's what I went for.
Oh, really?
Pre-med at SUNY Binghamton.
Oh, amazing.
Terrible at the math and not great at science. And I had to, realize that dream wasn't happening for me.
Sure.
But where did you go to school?
Yeah, Hunter College here in the city.
Oh, so I went to Lehman before I went to SUNY.
Okay, there you go.
So yeah, so you wanted to be a vet.
Yeah, and I was in my second year of college, and something was wrong. Something was missing, and I was like, oh, I kind of miss doing shows, and so I auditioned for a couple plays here in the city, and I booked my first off-Broadway role in Oren Squire's To Whom It May Concern. And like a very green rookie actor, I thought, oh, I booked one off-Broadway play. My life is set. So yeah, I remember being in organic chemistry and getting the casting the booking. And I remember putting my pencil down and just kind of getting up in class and packing up my bags and walking out, very dramatic. And I never went back. So I did that play and then decided to study, because I had that thought of nobody does anything professionally without studying for the most part, So I actually went to the New York Film Academy for about 3/4 of a year.
I know New York Film Academy. So
yeah.
It's interesting. You look to apply to like the Tisch program at NYU. You were kind of like you were going to do the year at New York Film Academy. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, testing it out,
In and out, easy peasy. I'm an actor,
Yeah, right. But the acting program was quite new, and they were still figuring things out. But everything happens for a reason. And through that program, I found out about Circle in the Square. And then auditioned for it. And those 2 years were, I wish I could relive them now with the wisdom I have. But they were formative. I really think that school was wonderful for anyone who wants to take it seriously. Yeah.
Well, it's so great that, first of all, that this happened for you really quick. And, again, Nicholas, you have to have the talent or this wouldn't have happened so quick for you, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Here's my baby, by the way.
Oh, precious.
So,
on the show.
Yeah, Nugget's my co-host tonight. So when you got out of there, did you just start auditioning all over the place?
It's so fun reliving all of this. So
that's what I'm all about. My job, honey, is to take you down memory lane and then bring you to the present. And then we talk about things that are relevant now. But I love people's stories. That's why I do this.
It's great. It's great. Actually, no. So right before graduating, I got a job that I thought was going to be something that it wasn't. So have you ever heard of a port shopping guide? So this is a job on cruise ships.
Of course.
Yeah. And they framed it like it was going to be much more of a performance than it was. But essentially my job was to once a week, I would do a show on stage, informing all of the guests on the ship of the jewelry and other shopping opportunities that are coming.
It's like a corporate industrial, which
correct.
And I've seen what you did. I've seen them do it on ships.
Yes.
You're selling. You're really selling.
Yes, it's definitely a sales position more than anything. And it was cute for like a month. And then I was like, what am I doing? Like, this is not it. So that was the summer right after. So Circle ended in the spring or late spring. And then that was the summer-ish. And then come that winter, I was getting very restless in relationships, and particularly with a family member of mine. And I wanted to kind of get out. I was at home after school.
Living at home, yeah.
And the itch to try something different was scratching. And I decided to go to LA. Followed a boy, actually, really.
I have a good reason. Boy is as good as anything. Why not?
I needed a little extra push, and that was a good push. So I thought I was going to go over there for a year, and I ended up going for about almost 6.5 years. I was in LA. Yeah. Which,
had to be a time of growth for you because, I mean, you grew up in a borough. You had done everything New York centric. Mm-hmm. Now you're out in LA. It's a different scene. What was it like for you when you got out there? You went to school, right?
No. So I'm getting to know myself on this talk, Wendy. This is lovely. I'm a tenacious motherfucker.
You really are. I got that. You followed the boy, and there you are in LA. Yeah. You're not going to go to school. What did you like? You hit the pavement thinking everybody was going to like give you starring roles and things?
No. I had the audacity to say, well, because I have, as any good actor, I have hospitality, food and beverage experience. So when I landed in LA, I said, what's the most popular gay bar in the area? And then I learned about the Abbey. And so I took the bus like nobody in LA does, but I took the bus to West Hollywood, walked over to the Abbey, and I sat at the end of the bar stool, and I drank dirty martinis for about 6 hours, made friends with the bartender until he introduced me to the owner. The owner came out. I said, I want to work here, and I started the next day.
That's a really great story. That's like landing on both feet, right?
I just, goals, right? This is what I want.
Well, yeah, you were actually very focused. You went out there and talk about 6 hours at the bar makes more sense than 6 days, going on interviews and pounding pavement. Sure. I love the dirty martini story that you're downing dirty martinis. You put your 6 hours in and you left the Abbey with a job. That, Nicholas, is a very focused move, I have to tell you.
Got to do what you got to do,
Got it.
Yeah. So I worked there for a bit. And have you been to LA? I'm sure you have.
Oh, hello.
Yeah.
Now, she's the last model standing. I did a book signing out there, of course, in West Hollywood.
Right.
Of course, I went to a lot of the gay bars there. I like LA. I would only go out there, though, if I had a job. And this year I got close, but I didn't get it. So I'm still here. I'm here in New York, Nicholas.
Yes, East Coast girl. Yes,
I get it. East Coast girl still.
I get it.
So, when you were working there, did you make a lot of connections?
Yeah, that's why I stayed as long as I did, I think, because the lifestyle was not for me. I didn't particularly like the day-to-day of living there. But every year I would look at myself and say, has my career advanced? Have I grown? And I kept saying yes. So I was like, okay, seems to be working. Let's keep going. Within the first year, it was kind of, again, getting money and an apartment. And then one short film here, a little short film here. Okay, now we're getting some roles in features. Okay, cool, joining SAG. So these things were happening and I was feeling really good about them. And then 30 came.
Dun.
For real though, man, if you're doing life right, in my opinion, around 30, you take a real good look at yourself and you assess who you really are and if everything around you aligns with that.
What
And
was I'm curious, what was it about 30 that was not just a number for you?
I think it was drinking, partying, that lifestyle.
Yeah, it's easy to fall into that.
Yeah, yeah. And, I had this one experience where I had a crazy night and I woke up the next day and I was like, okay, whoa, like I need to slow down. Like I'm not going to do that tonight. And then I watched myself get up, go in the shower, put on the clothes, go out to the club and do it again.
Yeah.
And it was like I was over here watching this behavior and I said, whoa, I'm not in control. I'm not in control and I need to do something about that. So I ended up coming home to New York for about 2 weeks to kind of detox. And again, in that way of how I do things, I flippantly looked online and I said, okay, if there's a job opening for any great restaurants here in the city, like I'll consider coming back. And lo and behold, the next day, I don't know if you're familiar with Catch restaurants, but
where is it?
Catch restaurants, Catch LA, Catch Steak.
I know. It's a steakhouse, though, so the tips are going to be.
Yeah. It started as a more seafood joint. The original one is Los Angeles, I believe it's La Cienega. Forgive me if anyway. But yeah, high end, like very Instagrammy. The steaks are $78 plus each, that kind of thing.
Good steak, $78. That's a steak.
Yeah, it was
fried cow.
And it was good. It was very easy to sell because once you ate it, you were like, all right. But yeah, lo and behold, they had an open call the next day. So I went to friggin' Express and bought an interview outfit and went there and knocked it out of the park and was like, all right, I'm coming back to LA. Being in the city, that was really what hit me, was being back in the city. I felt that thing similar to like quitting school and going back to acting. That thing. I don't know, alignment, whatever you want to call it.
Control. It sounds like LA, like there's all this stuff happening around you and you're swept up by it, but you're not in control. It's like Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz with the tornado. But then you come back to New York and you can kind of plant your feet here.
Yeah. It felt like me. And so that was important. And yeah, came back 5 years ago now and quit drinking. And
you just were able to quit, and good for you. Not easy. I'm Scotch Irish. I can only drink 2 drinks and then I don't desire anymore. Well, I have a lot, which is weird, right? But I have a lot of friends. If you are bent on drinking a lot and you can drink a lot, like you had those 6 dirty martinis at the bar, honey, they'd have to carry me to a hospital to do that. So, but you know what? Good for you, because it was a wake-up call.
Yes. And I don't regret it. Like I was 20, your 20s, go be a tornado in your 20s, and then you'll see where the house lands.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So then you're back here, and it was this the point you decided you wanted to start making your own films?
So that whole
thing,
whole thing started back in LA. So remember the guy that I moved to LA for?
Yeah.
He was a writer, and he taught me everything I know about screenwriting. I'm a very curious person naturally. So when he'd be working and stuff, I'd be asking questions and be like, oh, why are you doing that? What's structure about? What's this? What's that? And he would share his work with me and give feedback. And then eventually he was part of a writers group, which had like different levels of writers or executives from companies. And they would get together and talk about people's work. And they invited me to come as an actor just to give my perspective. So I went for a few weeks just as an actor. And then I was kind of like, oh, I kind of want to try writing something. And this was the first draft of Method, was in this writers group. It was originally called Casting Number 9. And I brought it in and I was given really, really lovely feedback. People were surprised that it was the first thing I had done. a lot of focus on just really encouraging that I had a particular point of view that was clear. And I was like, okay, cool. Got some really good notes at that session.
Yeah.
Like that, basically, this, especially from a particular person, a woman named Adrita, she helps really kind of take my tornado of thoughts and kind of be like, I think this is kind of what you're going for. And then she actually came up with the title as well. And I ran with it. And so that was the first kind of screenwriting thing. But then it sat in a drawer. I didn't do anything with it.
Yeah, I was going to say like that, there's that bridge, right? From screenwriting. And first of all, I have to tell, I can't even wrap my head around, I can write other things, screenwriting, playwriting, absolutely no affinity, interest, or anything. So the fact that you had that, you laid it down as a script, and then you ended up shooting it how many years later?
So I wrote that, it must have been 20 minutes. So 3 years later. And it just came about because, well, why I started filmmaking in general is I was a frustrated actor, like so many, and it was the age of everybody, make your own content. It was 2016, 2015, around there. And it was the boom of like, just make shit. And so I was with a friend of mine.
Make shit with that film. That's like that film holds its own water. It's a really great short. And
thank you.
The commentary in there is like, as an actor, I'm like, oh, this is freaking brilliant. And the other thing I said to myself, does Nicholas know he made a snuff film? Because like I came of age during snuff films. Okay. I've got a lot more years on you. I'm like, that is really interesting. It's like a modern day snuff film.
But in the end, was it?
Right. That was it. It was like, I left there thinking, in the end. Very, very interesting. I love that you submitted it, of course, to Black Bear, and we loved showing it. It was great. It was really great. So not a very long time really from concept to birth, actually.
Well, not long from concept to filming, because then I filmed it in 2016-ish, but I didn't finish it until 2024.
That is very interesting. I would have forgotten what I was making. How did you do that?
Again, I guess it's because like acting was always at the front, so a lot of my energy, a lot of my focus was always on that. But I think too, like the stories about me quitting drinking, there was an abusive relationship in there. There was moving back to New York. All of this was in the 8 years I'm telling you. And I think there was also a part of me that was, a imposter, afraid to be a sham. Like, I made that thing, but like, I'm not a filmmaker.
It's not real. It's not a real thing. Yeah.
And as long as I don't finish it, I don't have to share it. So I can just delay the post process forever. I actually finished the second movie first. Believe it or not.
Really? Slaycation was finished. And okay, so let's just talk about that. And then of course I want to see, you made a little composite for us tonight.
Oh yes.
But Slaycation from concept to shoot to final product, how long was that?
So Slaycation is a feature first. I had written the feature in 2018, 19 was probably the first full draft of the feature. And then very similar story with everything I was dealing with. I put it away. I was like, I'm not going to do this. And then my kind of day job is a live event production company. We Overland Entertainment. We do like Tribeca Festival, New Yorker Festival. And we were doing the New Yorker Festival, and Molly Shannon was a guest. And I'll never forget, we were at Ethical Culture up on Central Park.
Oh, yeah, I know exactly. I've been there, yeah.
Yeah, beautiful space. And Molly was talking, and people were asking her about her zeal, that Molly Shannon energy she has. She's always like at 100, And she was talking about how her mother and sister died in a car crash when she was very young. And ever since that moment, she kind of committed to living life with 100%. Like every sip of coffee, taste it, because you just never know. And then she started talking about her SNL characters and writing, and she said, if you're an actor who can write, you must do that. And I started drifting off, and I was like, wow, I really wish I had like characters that I could like put on screen or like bring to life. And then I realized I have Slaycation sitting in a drawer. And then I also realized that within the first 10 pages of Slaycation, these characters are not in the same room at the same time. So it would be my opportunity to play all 9 characters as well.
I thought that was incredibly clever. It was so good that I was like, who are these drag queens? They look vaguely familiar. Okay. You had me right. Well, they were all
yeah.
It was like by the 4th one, I'm like, holy moly, he's the same character, but he's totally different, and you wouldn't even know. And they were really all kind of strung together in such a clever way. You know what, Nicholas? I want to play your film that you gave us for
the clip. Sure,
yeah. The clip. So you combined method with Slaycation for this, right?
Yeah, I kind of gave you my favorite little chunks from each one. Yeah.
Fabulous. They were both entertaining. Okay, Juan, take it away.
Rolling.
Neil?
Call me Micah.
What?
Action.
Take it from page 79.
What are you doing?
No! Stick to the script.
What are you talking about? How did you even get in here?
Better, but... Zoom in.
Stay away from me, you sick fucks!
Fine. You want to improvise? Still want to make shit up? Good. This is my film.
Take it from the monologue.
Oh, good morning, everyone, and welcome once again to Sunday service with Mary Magdalicious. As always, we'll begin today's gathering with the passing of the Boy Scouts. Remember, everyone, 100% of your donations goes to those most in need to be fed. Here at the West Hollywood People's Church, we practice versatility, give and receive. It's the only way. Thank you, boys, and thank you, everyone. Now, let us gay. All right, bring your checkbook next time. Hi, thank you so much. You just got a raise recently, right? Bring that next time. Hi, thank you so much. Oh, you're one of the good ones. Okay, we'll see you real soon. All right, bye-bye.
I'll give you $2 to $3 for it, maybe. Wait, what's inside?
Yes.
Yeah.
That line about her getting the raise. That's so funny that you chose that part of the film because I wrote that line down. That was so funny to me. Didn't you just get a raise? You so funny.
So thank you. Yeah.
This is like, so You've been screening these films all over, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, the season just came to an end, so it was a busy fall. It was a busy fall, and I'm very grateful. Get nominated for a few things, won one award, and we'll see what spring looks like. There's a few more festivals coming up, so
So you
yeah.
have to let me know what other festivals you're in, like locally. I'll come.
Yeah,
I love going to festivals anyway.
yeah, sure, yeah.
They're really such beautifully shot too.
Oh, thanks.
People you're working with, the makeup, and in both the films, the main characters present themselves visually, because that's important to me. The storylines,
Right.
really, really cool.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So I have a bunch of questions for you. The song, you have an original song in Slaycation.
Yes.
Precious Baby.
Yes. So my good friend Glass Battles, Sean Connolly is his real name, but Glass Battles stage name, is a wonderful musician in Los Angeles, and we bonded over COVID, and got to know each other quite well. And I just love his music. It's like this electronic, dark, dystopian sexiness.
It was great. I got it. It's that. And that's I'm like, this is great.
And that was really cool. That was the first time I had ever like commissioned an artist, and I flew out to LA. We went to a studio and like recorded it, and that was a really cool time. And it's a fucking jam. It's available on Spotify. Check it out, Precious Baby. He's wonderful, and that song hits.
It's great.
Mm-hmm.
It's so perfect for the film too. How long did it take you to shoot Slaycation? Because there's a lot of different scenes in it.
Yes. So God, I produced it. Was that 2 years ago? So there's 5 days, 5-day shoot over 6 locations.
Locations.
Yeah, 6, because one of the locations actually served as 3, which was amazing. But yeah, we were all over the city. We were in Long Island, we were in Queens, we were in Manhattan. The bar is at Sweet, which is up on 109th, I believe it is.
Yeah. I've never been to that bar.
Yeah, it's a really cute little dive on the Upper West. Good little watering hole for the gays up there.
Right. I saw that you had given them a credit at the end. I didn't know the bar, but just it was beautifully shot.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, that was Daniel Fakos, our DP.
Okay, well, it was almost like dystopian in the way it was shot. It almost looked like the Hunger Games in the way.
Good.
Yeah. It was very, very, very cool. The significance of the wallet, without a spoiler alert. Can you talk about purses that show up in every station?
Yeah, so essentially the log line for the film is that 9 drag queens are invited to a remote island mansion on the promise of fame and fortune. But when they each start dying one by one, you soon realize the only prize they'll be fighting for is their life. So in these first 10 pages, you meet all the different queens at different areas of their life, and they receive these beautiful bejeweled envelopes with a letter telling them to be at a certain place at a certain time. Right. And, it mentions that they might win $1 million, but something even better awaits them. But it does warn at the end, may the best drag queen live. So
what's the plan for this film?
Write me a check, Wendy. Let's make it.
I just said that to somebody that offered me something the other day. I'm like, well, if you can write me a check, I can do it. Now you're asking me for the check. I'm not passing my money along to you. Yeah.
But I guess right now I've got a couple plays coming up in the winter, so I'm focused on that, and then we have the rest of the festival season in spring. Right. So I think come the end of the next festival season, I might shift gears back into making the feature a reality. I'd like to use the short I made. I'll probably cut it into like a nice, sexy 60-second trailer that really grabs, because people don't want to watch anything. People don't want to read anything. Nobody wants to watch anything. The short and sweet, you can make it. So if I can sell it in a 60-second clip and show it to somebody, be like, hey, there's something here. A bunch of drag queens at a mansion. They're dying. It's campy. It's rooted in good themes of mental health, identity, and suicide, which are going to be more relevant than ever. Like, let's do it. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think that's so fabulous. So you have these 2 films, okay? that I got to see so far. Method, what prompted you to shoot Method? Was it a highly personalized experience from acting training?
I just think like the desperation on all sides to like make stuff. Again, this is back to like that age of like when it was like create, make your own stuff.
Right. Anybody can do it.
Yeah, and it just felt like this, you know, you want to work so badly, but you don't really know how to do it. And we all just want to express ourselves and do the art. And how far would somebody be willing to go to do that? And I think in the character of Melissa, the female in Method, you know,
she was
you don't
terrific.
really know. Oh, she's wonderful. Callie Ott. Mwah. We did a horror feature WTF together back in LA. She's doing wonderful in LA right now. She's got a one-woman show called Final Girl that is winning awards, and she's blowing up. Callie Ott, love you. But the character, like, I can relate to like how far would I go once? Would I, you know, being a young actor, like, would I let somebody stab me a little bit to do a movie? I don't know. It sounds insane, but like it's just a little bit, and it would be so real. Like,
right.
You
How
know?
far would I go for the authenticity factor?
Yeah.
Did you find that you wanted to make this film because everybody else was making films?
You know what really did it was the executive producer on the film, Ben Dalton, was a friend of mine at the time, and we were talking about this whole, you know, we got to make stuff. And I was like, oh, I got this script, not thinking anything of it, and I sent it to him, and he replied back, and he was like, oh, I would donate at least $500 to make this, and I was like,
You would?
Someone will burn money, throw away money to make my art? Okay. And so that's kind of what it started to like, oh, maybe there's something here. That was a very validating moment for me.
Right. Well, and that was your first angel, right? That came along.
Yes, exactly.
That donated money. So are you working on any theatrical things?
So at the moment, I have a play in the city, which I'd love for you to come to, Wendy. It'll be at 59 East 59th this winter. It's called Pecking Order. It's a new play by Robin Rice. I believe our press actually goes out tomorrow, so it'll be hitting. You'll see it on like Playbill and such.
I'm on their mailing list too for that theater because
amazing.
My friend Charles Bush, you know Charles Bush,
sure,
also did. Charles does so much stuff, and I adore him. So I got on the mailing list for there. He's great.
Amazing. Okay, great. Yeah, it's American Bard.
When are they opening up? When is it opening up?
So first preview is January 29th, and then we open that Saturday, and we'll run for about 7 shows a week for 3 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Who are you playing in it?
I play Tony. Tony. Yes. I don't know how much I'm allowed to say just yet, but even though I am a Puerto Rican Irish from Staten Island, I do often get the chance to tap into Italian roots that I grew up around. My brother's Italian, so I have Italian family members, and obviously everyone on Staten Island growing up was a lot of Italians around.
Everybody's Italian on Staten Island.
Yeah, and even though I sound like this now, this is Circle in the Square training talking. I really had quite a thick accent,
right?
Which I can turn on as needed. So it'll be a fun exploration of those parts of myself.
Oh, this is like really exciting. That's a lot of shows per week.
Yeah, it's like a good run. Yeah.
It's an excellent run. So tell me the name of it again.
It's called Pecking Order.
Yep. And you open January
29th. Sorry, that's the first preview. We open February, whatever the Saturday is there. I don't have a...
Okay, that's fine.
First. Yeah.
That's really great. That's exciting. Yeah, I would totally love to come.
I would love for you to be there. And then this spring, I'll be going back off Broadway with a new play by John Patterson called The Last Supper, which is about 2 gay men in an attempt to fix their relationship, have all of their exes over for dinner.
That's really funny.
It has a lot of religious themes, so we're going to shoot it during Holy Week. and it's called The Last Supper. So yeah.
And you
Yeah,
wrote it, and you're performing it.
No, a friend of mine, John Patterson, wrote it. But
Okay.
I am one of the
One of the supperies.
One of the two. Yeah, one of the two.
Well, I love this, Nicholas. You have like so many things coming up. What did Gypsy say? Everything's coming up roses for Nicholas.
I'm seeing Gypsy in 2 weeks.
I know. I'm going with Audra.
I can't wait.
It's going to be
I can't
amazing, right? I've seen that
yeah.
show. I've seen 3 incarnations of it. I would love to see it with Audra.
Who'd you see?
Tyne Daly.
Okay.
And then when I was little, the original Gypsy with Rosalind Russell. But then
amazing.
Another one in between. There was a middle Gypsy, and I can't remember who was in it right now.
Okay. Was it Bernadette? Or Good. Was it Bernadette Peters?
Maybe. There have been a couple. Gypsy's like my favorite show.
It's so good.
I'm not a singer, but I do all the songs in that show, and I
so great.
Syncing them really well because I have a feeling it's the perfect lip sync song, right?
Great show. Yeah, and I'm excited to see Audra's take.
You know, it's such a great show. And I will see you. I'm sure we will run into each other in Milford.
Yes.
Our broadcasting Triversity is having their holiday party December 1st from 2 to 5 at Camp Spears. You can go on our Facebook page and get all the information about it, or you can reach out to me. But yeah, it's our way of thanking everybody. We always like to have a nice holiday party.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now we're
into
the real nitty gritty. What kind of dog do you have?
Oh, he's sleeping right here.
What? Show me what he is. I always make people tell me about their animals on the show.
Where is he? Oh
my God, he's a pug or a peak?
No, he's a Brussels Griffin.
Oh, does he have an underbite?
He's got the I don't know if you can see his little scowl.
Oh my God, I can't even. He is so cute. Look at that face. Is this your first Griffin?
Yes. And I have been wanting one for over a year.
Wow.
I did so much research about them, and my partner, in an effort to shut me up, surprised me with one last Christmas.
I can't believe it. He's so cute. What's his name?
Lexington, and
you can call him Lex for short.
Yeah, Lex. Although we only call him Little Man. He knows Little Man.
Man, look at that face.
Oh, he's so sleepy.
God, he knows he's the baby. Well, I should invite you. Pup Scouts gave a big Thanksgiving get together. They do a once a month party, Pup Scouts.
Ooh.
There are going to be 60 small dogs there. And you can just come and it's just like $10 and donate some food. And 60 dogs. All of this. There was one Brussels Griffin, a small one, a mini. So all kinds of dogs, dachshunds, poodles. I have a long-haired Chihuahua. Yeah, I'm a big dog person. So
me too. Yeah.
Finish with the dogs. So the last thing to do before we sign off, I always like to take a picture of myself and the guest with my hope.
Well, he's going to be in it.
Yes, if you can hold your Brussels Griffin up to the camera. Cool.
Let's see. Come on, buddy. Oh, here we go. Yeah, say hi, buddy.
Oh, he's cute. Great. Nicholas, thank you. I wish you so much luck with everything you're doing. And you're just like, wow, I'm going to be reading about you. I know it.
Sure.
You can take that any way you want.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. And thank you to everyone who tuned in tonight. We will be back next week. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.